Okay, fellow Nigerians, let's talk. I feel like this conversation has been long overdue. Yes, guys, I've been suffocating with the frustration I have been feeling for the longest time. And I feel like if I do not vent it all out, I feel like there's going to be an implosion here. So this video is probably going to be a lot of venting. Yes. And it is in my right to vent. And I also know that there are a lot of you that are going to watch this video and you're also going to be venting as well in the comment section. All right. So feel free to go off. Feel free to vent as much as you want to in the comment section. All right. And also with the way I'm feeling right now, I feel like it wouldn't be a misnomer for me to start addressing us as a people in the many titles that we have consciously and unconsciously amassed over the years. What titles am I talking about? We're the best in endurance. Yeah, we endure a lot. We suffer in silence a lot. We are the chief adjusters. In other words, we are the best in adjusting to the worst kinds of situations. We're the best in adapting to the most ridiculous, unnecessary kinds of situations in Nigeria. We are the best in complacency. Yeah, we do not feel the need to tackle issues that actually need our attention. We are the best in saying, "It go better." In other words, it is well. We're the best in minding our damn business. And you know the worst of it all? The business that we're minding is actually crumbling. Yeah, it never goes well, but we're just the best in minding our business. We're the best in looking away from situations, probably out of fear, out of intimidation from those who govern us, or probably out of indifference. We're the best in being unbothered. We're the best in being very selfish. What do I mean? A lot of Nigerians will attest to this as a fact, that if it is going well for one person, they don't really want to be bothered about every other person that it is not really going well for. Yes. Now, that stems from the hardship of the economy, the hardship of the country. So everybody is hustling, everybody is doing the most, to just survive, to go by, as by so doing, we are so focused on elevating our own self to the point that even if it is not really going well for the next person, we are just too carried away with the mission of uplifting our own self. We are not exactly bothered by uplifting the next person. We've amassed so many titles over the years. And at this point, the reality is those titles are our reality. Those titles are actually a fact. It is what it is. That is what it is. That is who we have become. And it's really sad because sometimes I get so angry. I get so frustrated. I want to blame us as a people. But on the other hand, I also understand that in a way, it is not entirely our fault. Because whilst there are those of us that, contribute our voices, vocalize our frustrations, there are also those governing us, using force and intimidation to stifle the rest of us. They intimidate us. They do not want us to speak. As much as they say that, Nigeria is a democratic nation, Nigeria practices democracy, everybody has freedom of expression, the fact is that you do not entirely own your expression. You do not totally have freedom of expression. It is a lie. Currently, there is a case of a blogger slash activist who uses his platform to speak up about the ills happening in the country, to give exposure, to educate and inform people about the politics of the country, about everything that's happening with the government, about the government, political sphere of the country. Currently, this guy, Justice Crack, made a video where he exposed the hardship of the frontliners in the Nigerian military, how they are not well fed, how their welfare is nothing to write home about. And this is not a new conversation. This is a conversation that's been going on for years, that a lot of soldiers in the military have come out to complain about. And this young man used his platform to shed more light on the situation. Guess what? He's currently in a mess. The Nigerian military, they kidnapped this guy, abducted him from Abuja, took him to their barracks. I mean, guys, his lawyer actually had a press briefing where he gave the story of what they did to this guy. It was scary. Tortured this guy like a hardened criminal. Tortured this guy like he's a terrorist, like he's an endangerment to the country. And then, as if that is not enough. In fact, for the first 3 days of this guy's disappearance, nobody knew where he was. His wife, his 2 children, who were still barely on the 3, I think. Nobody knew where he was. It was when his friends, who are also, activists, started raising awareness and people started calling out the military. That was when the military released this weird, in my opinion, this ridiculous statement, accusing this young man of so many things, which are just ridiculous, in my opinion. Accusing him of so many things before they now released him to the DSS. According to Justice Crack's lawyer, the DSS were the ones who took him to the hospital because he was really in a bad shape when they got him from the military. So a young man used his platform to raise awareness, to speak up for the people. Guess what? He's treated like a criminal, like a terrorist. And in this same Nigeria, they say that people have freedom of expression. But guess what? It is still in this same country that terrorists who have rendered people homeless, who have killed people, who have abducted people, who have destabilized whole communities, who have razed down villages, who have butchered, murdered, like just committed the worst of the worst kinds of crimes against humanity, against fellow Nigerians. It is in this same country that over 700 of those terrorists are getting rehabilitated and reintegrated back to society. And according to the higher-ups, they are like the prodigal son. Ladies and gentlemen, for personal reasons, I haven't been to church in the past 5 years, but I grew up in a very, very Christian home, and I studied the Bible, and I know the story of the prodigal son. And when you compare the story of the prodigal son to the story of the terrorist terrorizing Nigerians, innocent citizens, it's nowhere the same. It's nowhere near the same at all. It's nowhere near the same at all. But still, people from the Nigerian military are the ones saying that these terrorists are like the prodigal son. They are still our brothers. They are still one of us. They say they will persecute the ones, like all of these is happening in this same country. So why did I bring up all of this, right? I was saying that sometimes I get so mad, I get so pissed, I get so angry, I get so frustrated from the hardship in this country. I want to explode. Like, I am angry. I am frustrated. Woo! I'm angry at myself because I'm wondering, what can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Why are Nigerians not angry enough? Why are Nigerians not really expressing their frustration enough? But then I remember October 20th, I think 2020, the Lekki Tollgate massacre. I remember what happened on that fateful day. I remember how brave Nigerian youths who went out en masse, who stood up demanding for their safety, for their security, how they were raced down. Until date, there's still denials from all corners, claiming that it was all AI, that nothing happened. They set up panels upon panels upon panels to investigate. And that is one thing that also frustrates me about Nigeria. Anything that happens, they say they want to investigate. But guess what? I can't even count up to 5 cases that has had a complete investigation from start to finish. They just say that so that people stop agitating, right? So at the end of it all, such investigations are swept under the carpet. So when I want to be really, really mad at my fellow Nigerians, I remember the Lekki Tollgate massacre. But still, are we going to remain stifled forever? How much more can we take? And I ask all these questions because I see what's happening around me as a Nigerian. I see what's happening with the people. The middle class is now the poor class. Yeah, the middle class, they're not getting poor, and then the poor is getting poorer and poorer and poorer, sinking into the grimes of poverty, of lack, of hunger, of depravity. Whilst the elite, the rich, they just keep getting richer and richer and richer. When are we going to say we've had enough? Now, all of that said, I think it would be fair for me to categorize, the set of people in Nigeria, yeah? And this is me speaking based off of my observations and experiences, my encounters with these different categories of people. Now, I've given the example of those who are probably scared, who are intimidated, who are stifled into not saying anything, right? Also, because they are powerless to do anything. They do not have the right contacts. They do not know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, which is a culture, of the elites in Nigeria. You need to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to even get the most basic things most of the time. Yes. That culture also flows into the workplace, and hence the reason why there's a crazy percentage of unemployment in this country, right? But that is that category. There's also the category of those who are benefiting from the side that is actually ruling the country, right? The government of the day, for example. The government of the day, for example, is not doing well. Let's call a spade a spade. The government of the day is not doing well. It seems like they are more focused. No, not it seems like. It is very glaring that they are more focused on winning the next election, taking over the next election, other than actually fixing the economy, other than actually elevating the lives of regular Nigerians. Yes, the wealth of this country flows only amongst the 1% of the 1%. Those who had a lot before, they've probably lost it all by now and have been reduced to the level of the poorest of the poor. Yeah. So it's a wild one out here. Yeah. Now, as I was saying, there are those who are benefiting from the higher ups, the government. They are benefiting from them. And so, because their interest is covered, because they know that their families are covered, their associates are covered, they themselves are covered for a long time, they would never speak up against the very obvious hardship of the country. They would not speak up against the policies that the government makes that does not favor the ordinary man. They would not speak up. They would look away. They will act indifferent. They will act like everything is fine, especially those who are thriving in the entertainment industry. I don't want to name names, but a lot of them, almost all of them, as a matter of fact, those in music, those in, just call them the celebrities and the public figures. A lot of them are actually benefiting from the government of the day. Hence the reason you will never see them say anything. They will never voice out. They will never voice out. They will never call out the government. They will never speak up. Even when people begin to agitate, raise their voice, you will see them hiding in the shadows. They will not say anything. Yeah, they will not say anything. See, the same thing even happened during the NSAS protests many years ago, right? A lot of them were not speaking up. But when they saw that the movement was growing bigger and bigger and bigger than even their own brands, what they started doing was they would go to the protest ground, they will hold the placards, they will take pictures, post on their Instagram account and leave it there for probably a week or maybe some days, and then later on they will delete it, right? Now they were doing that just so that they are not cancelled. Right? So it's more like benefiting from the government, right? Not wanting to bash the government, not wanting to call out the government on their shortcomings, but also not wanting to lose out from what they're also benefiting from their community, from their followers, from their fans. That is where their career thrives. So they do not want to lose out on both ends. And so they are also playing that politics of silence, that politics of looking away, that politics of indifference, that politics of pretending that all is well, that there's no problem in the country at all. Whereas there are a lot of problems in this country. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, it is frustrating. As a Nigerian, I am frustrated. I am frustrated. I've had it up to here. I have had it up to here. And my frustration is fueled more by the fact that, should I say the cost of governance or what? Let me put it this way. When you look at the way our politicians in power, the way they are living their lives, they are living in affluence, they are living in abundance, they are living in luxury. Yeah? They are living in so much, like, guys, the way they flaunt the wealth, the way they flaunt the abundance with reckless abandon, it's like a continuous slap in the faces of poor Nigerians who cannot afford a meal, a decent meal. Let me not just call it a meal, a decent meal in a day. Recently, if you've been following the news, you see where they want to move. You see the convoy. Imagine one person is carrying a convoy of 50 vehicles. And what's the price of fuel? What's the cost of fuel currently? I think about 1,325 naira or 350 naira. The government keeps saying Nigerians should exercise patience. They are working, but they are not managing. They say, oh, we should buckle up, we should manage, but they are not managing. Their families are not managing. Their cronies are not managing. The 1% of the 1% that benefits from whatever they're doing in Aso Rock, they are not managing. But every other Nigerian, that does not matter, of course, should manage. As it is today, it's like the government is completely detached from the reality of all Nigerians. It's like the government is living in a separate world where his special advisors are telling him that, oh, don't worry, the people are happy, the people are living large, the people are getting fat. When you watch some interviews of some of these government officials, especially the ones that are from the current ruling party, they come on air and they open their mouth and they say the most audacious lies, saying that, oh, the price of foodstuffs are now cheap in the market. Blatant lies. That is what those are. They lie, So it's like the president is living in that world where he doesn't even know what's happening. Whether he knows or not, I don't know. But I'm just giving him the benefit of doubt that there's a possibility that he is surrounded by people who themselves probably do not even know the current reality of Nigerian citizens. So they probably just lied to him that, oh, don't worry, you are doing well, you are doing great, Nigerians are happy with you, Nigerians love you. I'm sorry to say, but Nigerians do not love this current president. That is a fact. Yeah. Nigerians are not happy with the current president. Nigerians are not satisfied with the current president. Nigerians are not comfortable with the current president. Nigerians are frustrated. Nigerians are pressed. Nigerians are angry. So it's really frustrating, ladies and gentlemen. It's really frustrating. And another thing, aside that, another thing that's also really frustrating me is that Nigeria is a very, very overly religious country. This country is so religious to the point where people would rather listen to their religious leaders than do what is right. I mean, unfortunately, that is the reality of Nigeria. Majority of Nigerians are so religious to the point where they have been brainwashed so much to believe that they can pray their way out of everything. As far as I'm concerned, that is an absolute mockery to whatever they believe in. I believe in God. So for me, I believe so much in that portion of the Bible that says that faith without work is dead. I do not believe that I can pray my way out of everything. There are certain things I believe that God expects you to use your common sense because He has given you that wisdom, that knowledge, and that understanding on how to tackle that situation. So probably out of docility or out of cowardice, the majority of Nigerians have been brainwashed, and they have also believed it, and they have also come to accept it, that they can pray their way out of everything. Because if that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, tell me why a lot of religious people have been killed, have been targeted, have been murdered, have been butchered, have been displaced and destroyed, have been chased out of their homes by terrorists, by bandits, by kidnappers. Tell me why people keep dying. Tell me why people are getting broke now. Because the economy just keeps crashing by the day. Tell me why. So as I said, unfortunately, the majority of Nigerians, they have been brainwashed. Of course, by their religious leaders. And that is why a lot of times you see these politicians, they go to their places of worship, whether a church or a mosque on their day of service or their day of worship, and then when they make an appearance, the church or the mosque, they are so excited. There's a frenzy all over the place, and then they go with rice, maybe cartons of gifts, of course, bearing the logo and the name of their political party. They go and then they give maybe 1 or 2 scholarships there, and then they pay a hefty tithe, and then they give money to the religious leader in those gatherings, and obviously it's all to buy the silence of the church or the agitation of the church, right? And then because they make such strategic appearances, the members, the congregation, they now feel like they are closer to power, like they are closer to the source. That, because this politician attends my church, or this politician is a member of my mosque, or this politician is a member of my place of worship, my life is good. It is well. God has provided my helper. That is their mentality. And so even when they see that politician is not delivering as expected, they keep shut. They do not voice out. They do not call them out. They do not hold them to be accountable for the resources of the people. They don't. They keep silent. And their religious leaders too control their reactions. They control them with certain portions of the Bible that makes them feel like they are going to be traitors or they're going to be rebellious if they voice out. And that is the reason why when people call for a march, for a protest, to hold the government accountable, guess what? You wouldn't see a lot of people coming out. You wouldn't see a lot of people showing up. But the moment a church calls for a crusade, check out the millions of people that turn out en masse. And then listen to the prayer points. Listen to the prayer points. The majority of the females there, they are praying to get married. They are praying for husbands. It's like there's a brainwashing that goes on in so many religious places. Most religious leaders, they divert the attention of most Nigerians away from crucial matters happening in Nigeria. Feed them with words. Feed them with false hope. Feed them with, I'm sorry, for most people it could be necessities, but as far as I'm concerned, if you like, pray from now to tomorrow. If Nigeria does not work, your efforts will continuously be frustrated. So it's a lot. It's a lot of issues, and every day these issues compound. They just keep on compounding and compounding and compounding. And it's like us as Nigerians, because we are so good in adjusting. We just keep on adjusting. When are you all going to get tired? That's my question. When are you all going to get tired? When are you going to all say, okay, enough is enough. I'm tired. Oh, I forgot to also mention that there's also that category of people who do not believe that there's a lot of evil happening in this country in terms of insecurity because it has not happened to them directly. Yeah, because it hasn't happened to them directly. They do not believe that the situation is actually serious. They do not believe that this country is actually volatile. A lot of Nigerians, because they live in certain places that hasn't been attacked yet, they do not think that the situation is that serious because it has not happened to them yet, because it has not happened to anybody in their family, in their friends group. They do not think it's that serious. So when people in the far north are crying, are calling for help, are calling for the attention of the international community to see what's happening to them, to see that they have lost their homes, to see that they have been displaced and abandoned by the government, of course. Because the other day there was this news about IDP camps in certain areas of the north. We're looking so malnourished, you know. So when most Nigerians see these people calling for help, they do not think there's anything wrong going on. They do not think there's anything serious going on. It is that bad. So my fellow Nigerians, chief adjusters, chief adapters, best in adapting to the worst kinds of situations, best in enduring, best in complacency, best in docility, best in saying, it go better. How far? How far? What is the way forward? What is the way forward? Anyways, I kind of feel a bit better now that I have vented. Yeah, my chest feels a bit lighter now. So I'm going to stop talking here right now because I still want to interact with all of you. I need us to have a one-on-one conversation. So this is an open invitation to every single Nigerian out there that comes across this video. I'm inviting you to a YouTube live conversation with me on this channel on Saturday, this Saturday, by 3 p.m. WAT. In 3 days, I look forward to hosting all of you here on my channel, Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. I would love to have a heart-to-heart conversation with all of you. I want to know your thoughts about the current state of Nigeria. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how you feel. I want to know what's working in your mind, what's working in your head. For those of you that actually have hope, I want to hear what is actually giving you hope. Yeah. Because at this point, I feel like I've lost all hope. I've lost all confidence in this. It's a lot. Yeah. So please make it a date with us. Come through. I look forward to seeing all of you. I look forward to having a heart-to-heart conversation with all of you. 3 p.m. this Saturday, I think 9th. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, 9th of May. I look forward to seeing all of you. Make sure you come through. And I'll see you all on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.